local film. You think you can find 4 or 5 local filmmakers probably in about 6 days. And I shouldn't have a problem. First call I made was to a gentleman that I'm going to bring to the stage so we can have a venue to have this. But I couldn't do this quickly without a few people. I made my initial calls, Artist Gaines in the house, my good friend Artist Gaines, our production. Who helped sponsor some of the things that you see here going on today. I also called, I think my first call was Kevin Taylor. Look at that. Hey. Filmmaker Kevin Taylor. I said, Kevin, I need you to call some people, make it happen. I called one of my partners in crime, Stacy Malone, that I call Genius. Stacy's over here. The bad thing when you start shouting people out, and then, you know, and I cannot, well, first of all, everybody knows that I don't do anything without my #1 gunner, Felicia Haney. And I want to say that I would not have been able to be here. It would have been a mutiny because some of you know that I am one of the vice presidents of the Greater Cleveland Association of Black Journalists, the Cleveland chapter of the NABJ. And we have our regular meeting scheduled for today. So I called Harry. Mr. Harry Boomer, who you all know from WIO. But Harry is also the president of the Greater Cleveland Association of Black Journalists. So I said, Harry, I know we have our meeting, and you know Harry's smooth. Well, chill, I'll make a few phone calls. I think we can work this out. Code word was, you better call Sandra. So I called Sandra Bishop, our secretary. Worked it out, and we basically brought the executive board of the Greater Cleveland Urban. I'm about to do it now. I'm about to go film festival. But we have Donna Dance in the building, so please give her a round of applause. We have Mansfield Frazier. Okay, I'm gonna stop doing the shout out. But I want to bring to the stage when I knew I needed a location. I could have thought of no better place to have this than the historic Karamu Theater. I knew that they had a production going on. When I called Tony Simons, the sheriff of change, he made it happen for me. Tony, could you please come to the stage?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. As Chill said, my name is Tony Simons. I'm president and CEO of Karamu House. I've been here 2 months, 2 years, 7 months. 4 hours. Who's counting, as they say. This is an important moment in the history of Karamu in terms of how everybody came together, from the phone calls to the conversations. And as you may know, the word Karamu is a Kiswahili word that means a place of joyful gathering. And what else are we doing here today other than gathering in the spirit of joy and community? And that is so important. I want to tell you a few things about what's happening here. As you may know, that we're completing our renovation of our Jella Theater, our $2.5 million renovation. The Jella Theater is the first phase of our capital project. We'll have a grand reopening next Saturday night at 6 p.m. Tickets are still available for the gala, and I have information for you. If you don't want to buy that gala ticket, it's $250, yeah, $250, but other folks' gala tickets cost $350. So we got an after party for $50. So you can come drink and eat and be merry with us. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge 2 of my board members in the theater today. Ms. Sheila Wright, the Vice President of the Good Community Foundation. And as you've heard already, Ms. Donna Dabbs, Chica. The production that Chill was speaking about is a show called Passing Strange, originally produced on Broadway by Spike Lee, created by the artist Stu. You heard of Stu and the Negro Problem? Stu created this play, this musical, and it's a great piece. Scene Magazine critic Christine Howard said that this production was the best thing on stage in Cleveland running. The show runs till tomorrow. Tickets are usually $37, but for those of you in the house right now, you can get a ticket for $25.
All right.
There's a 7:30 show tonight and a 3 o'clock show tomorrow, so you have to get the ticket right now. At the end of this morning's presentation, I'm sure Vanessa Bell Calloway is going to be inducted into the Karamu Hall of Fame. I pointed at everybody. Look, y'all thought she was over there. Hey, man. You know, that's what happens when the thought hits you. It just kind of comes out of you. Anyway, but we're inducting Vanessa Bell Calloway into the Karamu Hall of Fame on June 9th. However, from June 14th through June 24th, she will be christening the New Jello stage during her one-woman show, Letters from Zora, The Life of Zora Neale Hurston. So there's a lot happening here, and as you can tell, whatever that is, somebody turn it off.
So one of the seats fell earlier, and that cell phone switched to the track. So
Okay, we gotta fix that.
we need someone to get under the riser.
That's good to know. We're gonna get it done. This is my button, because I'm hogging the stage, but it is Karamu stage. So the last thing is, as you can see, something is happening very special here at Karamu. That's saying the national artists are coming to Karamu, and that this is the place that they should come. So if something is happening, we cannot always say yes, but at least give us a call to give us the opportunity to have the first right of refusal.
Yeah.
That's what we ask at this point. Thank you, Jill. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me
Another round of applause for Tony Brown. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get this started, but just, so we know what we have here, and I see lots of filmmakers. I see Keith Collins, I see Branson Driver, I see Crystal Pickett in the house. I see my girl Crystal Banker in the house. So just real quick, how many filmmakers? Oh, wait a minute, before I even get to that, we have the Dean of Television News Anchors in the house, the one and only Leon Gibbs.
We got the phone.
It was Harry's phone that dropped? No. Oh, you got it. I recovered it. All right, Harry. Good job. Okay. Erica, she said she would have been fine with 4 filmmakers in the house. Can I see the hands of filmmakers in the house? Okay, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So this is going to be exactly what Cleveland has been looking for, what Erica requested of, and right now, I know you all want to see her. So I will be bringing to the stage 2 people from Seed and Spark, and Erica will be introducing her, and she will explain to you what that will entail and what that is, how you can benefit from it. But we're going to bring to the stage Miss Christina Rhea, and the person who we all came to see. You know her as Cousin Pam from the Cosby Show. As Kevin Taylor reminded me, television royalty for our era, as Maxine Shaw, attorney at law on Living Single. You also saw her in the award-winning, phenomenal runaway hit, Get Out. Everybody saw Get Out by now, right?
Yeah.
So many things. She has a comic book that she's going to tell us about, that we're going to raffle away this. But let's give a round of applause for the one and only Miss Erika Alexander.
Hello, how are you? Thank you for coming out. Oh gosh, I heard y'all like a classroom. I'm so glad to be here, and I have. Is this where I'll sit? I have some people that I've had to thank myself, and I wrote it down because it's a list. And you heard them. Thank you, Chip. Thank you so much for all that you've done, all that you're doing, all that you continue to do. It's with partners and collaborators and people like him, artists, who have laid the ways and put the tracks down, that I'm here and that we're here today, including Tony Sias from Karamu House, everybody here that made that happen. I'd like to also thank my partner, Ben Arnon, who's at home and who's been in New York making this happen, and Shed Chapman. Where's her family at? Trina and G, all that. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Shay is my love. I adore her. We met each other a very long time ago, and she was just full of energy, and she crackles it. And every time I'm around her, I get a boost. So she's a wonderful friend to me, and also a wonderful collaborator, and a great example of what a producer and a Black woman can be. I'd like to thank the Greater Cleveland National Association of Black Journalists.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming out. We need you, obviously, especially in these times now, to tell the truth and to make sure that our voices are out there. And I know that you have been doing it. I'd like to thank you for that. We're in a very unique time right now where truth and story matters, and that I think the louder we are and the more amplified we get, the better we'll survive. I think it's a fight for survival. So journalists are important, and we should support them by reading and going and supporting them and signing up and making sure that we know the stories that are important to them, because obviously they'll have probably some effect on us. Dominique Karamu, thank you. Congratulations, and thank you for all that you gave so graciously to us this morning. Appreciate it. Congratulations on your success. She's going to Hollywood, CBS. Oh, girl, do your thing. And Black and Sexy TV, that's Dennis Dort. He's one of our partners and collaborators. And he runs Black and Sexy TV. He puts it as a uniquely Black space for creators of color. And you should go check that out. It's one of the reasons why we're here. And Seed and Spark, which is run by a young woman who's amazing in Los Angeles named Emily Best. And here to represent and also talk to us today is Christina Ray, right here. So cheers to you. And they're doing a great job. Yeah, I think that's everybody. So here's the thing. I'm here because I feel like I've been called. I'm here because I've discovered in a theater nearly like this. Not exactly like this, because this has a history and a story that is very unique. Cleveland, of course, and Ohio being a place where if you crossed it, you could be free. And so this is very amazing to me that the place that we're now launching this this crowdfunding and educational tour for creators of color is at this house, this theater, which is the oldest Black theater in America. I think that I wouldn't have thought that could happen, and when they told me that, was giving me goosebumps to this day, and I really appreciate that. Thank you for coming out and giving energy to this, because we're going to need your help. Not only will we be talking to you, creators of color who are already doing it in your space, we hope to create a dialogue and a conversation ongoing, and I believe where we can help each other, but it only helps if we do it and we have follow through. So you'll be able to tell me what was missing today and what you were expecting, and we'll be able to either say, oh, we need to be more focused, and or we'll say, now we're not doing that, they were wrong. No, but or something like that, and also to tell us who you are and what you will do in the future. My name is Erika Alexander, and you know me as an actress, but I run a company called Color Farm Media. And I created that company because I thought I wanted to have a better conversation between what Los Angeles and New York thinks is Hollywood than what I know should be the world's voices and creation in television and film and in tech. There is right now very few ways for people outside of the system to actually break through. And it gets harder because even though we have access to things in our hands, computers, and all these things that we think we're doing, there's so much chatter, it's hard to break through. So I think there needs to be more of an outreach and a bridge, why I say to the street, but it's to real voices, and the voices that they've locked out for many years and decades. And they were able to do that because it was so hard to get the equipment. But now that the equipment's all over the place and it's in your hand, now we're doing it, and the content is there, but often we don't have the right connections, or it's not making, so you can put something out there and it can get a lot of hoopla locally, and all your friends say, great job, and it's over. And that to me is unacceptable. One of the reasons why I think that we're not finding justice in the street. And there's so many people getting shot down like dogs and not getting any dues because they're able to control the narrative. And when I say they, I mean the people who are not thinking like that, but they're telling their own stories. And they're telling stories we think we're gonna hear. And for years, we've wanted to hear those stories. But they haven't been picking from the best and the brightest. Why? Because I believe people of color have been uniquely created in this time and space to change and influence the hearts and minds of not only America, but the world. And we have been doing it. Now you saw that when you talk about Motown and Barry Gordy and what he was able to do. And imagine if he didn't do that and we never saw Stevie Wonder, Diana Ross, and Smokey Robinson, blah, 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 and on and on and on. And you can think about that even in the 80s and the 90s, where they kept finding talent all over the place, just in storefronts and all around. Imagine if there weren't those record companies, for whatever reason, because a lot of them were drug-fueled, and we can talk about that. But we're talking about the reason is that at least they had a connection, some way to get them from just doing in their basement to the street, to on vinyl, to eventually on a cassette, to eventually on your radio. But it doesn't really exist for the moving image. And that's why we're kind of in a holding pattern. There are places like BET and TV1 and all these wonderful places who they've been around. But again, if you don't have an agent or something like that or an introduction and they don't have room for you, there's no place to go. So I thought there has to be a better way, because this is the industry that I work in, live in, and it's been a detriment to me to not hear your voices, not be able to do and see and perform in your creation and content. And it's a detriment to the world that that's happened, but no more. So for whatever reason, for skin color, Black, Asian, Latino, for gender selection, LGBT, all that. For age, if you get past 45 in Hollywood, you might as well be dead. They don't see you anymore. So if you go to 55, 65, it's done. And some of our best storytellers and our best creators are still there, waiting for their shot. Tons of great stuff around them, and we need to source them. We need to make sure that they know that we are looking for them. And I think you've been looking for us. And there's other people who are looking for you. And we got to make sure that we have that dialogue. So today is something that we're launching that is kind of a little bit experimental. So bear with us. We think we have a good idea to create the dialogue and create the community conversation. Community is there. The talent is there. It's been there. We are here to make and connect the dots. We'll talk a little bit later after Christina talks, but she's going to talk a lot about crowdfunding. And she's really good at it. See, in Spark is what they do. They help creators get funded. Our goal is to get 50 pilots done in the summer tour at the end and help people figure out how they get that done. And we're here to help. Because I told them, and they knew already, that one of the reasons why Black and brown people and women don't often do this is because it takes too much time and money. And the money that it takes, even though it's very little, people are trying to do a lot of things with the little, and you don't want to, you just feel, oh, I put it out there and I didn't get enough that I needed in my crowdfunding, blah, 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 and it can discourage you. But there are other ways. So we need to learn how to leverage power of not only your community, but the outside community that might be there that you may not know about. And then eventually I will have a conversation about the standard, quality, and excellence that is expected. Because when you read the scenes, you expect to hear those notes, and we expect you to hit them too. You're going to have to in order to break through and to cut through. It doesn't mean you can't be unique, have your voice, be a Quentin Tarantino all your own, or be a Spike Lee in your own way, or an Ava DuVernay. But to be those people, you can have your own style, but you still have to tell the story. You have to recognize it. You've got a very short time to do it. And the audience is only going to listen for a little while. So it's not up to us, it's up to them. And that's why there should be some sort of basic standard for what we think is required. So I'm going to let Christina have it right now. And thank you so much for allowing us to be here.
Hi everyone. I'm Christina Rea. I'm the filmmaker and the director of crowdfunding at Spark. For anyone who doesn't know, Spark is a crowdfunding Oh, is it not? Thank you. Okay, sure. So Student Spark is a crowdfunding and streaming platform for film and filmmakers. We're specifically interested in offering opportunities to underrepresented filmmakers who are usually excluded from the industry and whose stories aren't usually told. So on the crowdfunding side, has anyone crowdfunded before? Not too many. Has anyone never heard of Student Spark before?
Seed and Spark. Who's heard of Seed and Spark?
Okay. 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 So, Seed and Spark, crowdfunding is where you launch a campaign to raise funds through your community for your project. And we are a platform that it's Seed and Spark. And we help you launch campaigns. Part of my job at Seed and Spark is to teach a class called Crowdfunding to Build Independence. You can find it for free on our website. You can watch that. You can also check out our events page to see any local classes that we're offering. But basically, we kind of walk you through how to run a campaign successfully, how to target your audience, how to not just friend and family fund. That's a big issue with crowdfunding, where you're just sort of knocking on the doors of your friends and family, which is definitely a great place to start, but you want to make sure that you're reaching the people who actually want to watch what you want to make, and will pay to see that, to pay to be part of that. So you submit a campaign, and I would help you go through your story, go through all of your materials, everything that you're offering, and I would help you go live. And so that's sort of the basic aspect of crowdfunding. However, what we're doing with Color Farm Media and Black and Sexy TV is to launch a crowdfunding rally, which means that multiple filmmakers will launch campaigns at the same time, and they will be raising their funds, building an audience just like they normally would, but they'll also be competing for a larger opportunity, which comes with matching funds and a distribution deal. And so that's the big initiative that we're offering. And it's specifically for series by creators of color. And that's what we're really trying to do. We have one going on right now, you can check out on our site. It's for genre films that are tackling social issues, sort of in the vein of Get Out. And that's with The Orchard and 3311. And those campaigns are currently live. So you could go to our site and see how a rally functions. Right now, they have a set time, it's 30 days. They all have to hit their goal by the exact same date. And then the partners will choose winners that most meet their criteria. And we'll be doing something very similar. And then on the streaming side, you have the option to come full circle. You can crowdfund with us, build your audience, do a festival run, or do whatever you'd like with the film, and then eventually you can stream it on our platform, and you make money per minute watch. We're the highest paying platform out there in terms of money that you make per minute, and we're really looking to kind of put the control back in the filmmakers' hands and allow them to make content through their audience, so they don't have to go through all these middlemen and these gatekeepers. I can say, for myself, I'm a woman. I grew up with a single mom who was an immigrant, and I didn't have opportunities. I didn't have industry connections. I went to film school, and I felt like my peers had money that I didn't have. They could just sort of knock on certain doors and get their content funded, and I couldn't do that. And so I discovered crowdfunding in 2011, and it opened up opportunities for me. It allowed me to make content. I've now crowdfunded 2 features and 3 shorts and a web series through my audience completely through crowdfunding. And so I'm really passionate about this and just what it can do for people who have stories to tell. And I could keep talking, but I'd love to actually just answer any questions that you may have about the platform or about crowdfunding in general. Yes?
When you say you finance these projects, or startup projects, what is the average budget for these projects that you have or the startup?
Excuse me, Joe, or anybody else, when you ask a question, can you stand up so the rest of the people can actually hear the question? And we'll give it to them.
This is a mic. It's not amplified, but it's just for recording purposes. Let me get your question.
Okay, thank you. One time, and when you said that you would create this company for starter content, when you have the starter content, what have you, is that what type of budgets that you're working with, as far as introduction of budgets, and secondly, are you going to different people who are I guess, give you like seed money in order to give you an opportunity to grow or what have you, and so people can see the vision what you're trying to accomplish?
So in terms of budgets, the average raise across all platforms for film for crowdfunding is $10,000. On our platform, it's $17,000. That's because we give you hands-on attention and we really mentor filmmakers to have successful campaigns. That though I feel it's a lot of money, it's definitely not a lot in terms of film budgets. $17,000 is not high when you think about what movies are made for. However, we really see filmmakers kind of raising for stages. So they raise, just for the pilot, not for the whole series, or they raise for pre-production, and they come back and raise for production, and they come back and raise for post-production, because they're essentially building an audience for one campaign, using that audience as amplifiers to then reach even beyond that network for a next campaign. And that's sort of what we sort of train you to do and mentor you through the process for. And that's really what you would be doing. It's not waiting to be picked. It's really saying, okay, I have a project I want to make. I can access my audience and make it through them, and that's what you would do. And then in terms of this rally, we would have additional matching funds that you would be competing for that would help you make more episodes potentially or go farther.